You need to ask people about other people's motives. She wasn't that helpful. Okay, what I could go to is back to the police station, because he might know about Marina. Hello.
Well, you see, I'm not quite sure. But, they say that every cloud has a silver lining, right? So, maybe. We just need to look for that silver lining in the case. Yeah, that's it. We just need to, keep our eyes peeled in, follow the breadcrumbs. Like in those old detective stories. It's all about connecting the dots, you know? But don't quote me on that. I'm just trying to help, you know? In my own humble way.
So what can you tell me about Hayley's connection to Marina?
Well, you see, I'm not really the expert on Hayley's connection to Marina, but I've heard some rumors. You know, whispers in the wind. They say that Hayley's Connections is a secret organization, like a shadow lurking in the darkness, pulling the strings from behind the scenes. But, of course, that's all speculation, like a needle in a haystack, or a drop in the ocean. It's hard to separate fact from fiction, you know? But, hey, stranger things have happened, like finding a needle in a haystack.
How does Hayley know Marina?
Oh, Hayley, right. Sorry about that. Well, you see, I don't have much information on Hayley Greenwood, but, they say she was a dancer, a free spirit with a heart of gold, like a bird dancing in the sky. But, unfortunately, her life was cut short, like a flower wilting before its time. It's a tragedy, you know? The world can be a cruel place, like a storm raging in the night. I wish I could help more, but I'm just...
Have you ever seen Marina with Hayley?
No, I can't really answer that question. I mean, how really? You know, pay attention to people's personal lives. Because, you know, curiosity killed the cat, and all that. But I'm sure... Or rather, I've heard that Marina and Hayley might have crossed paths. You know, like ships passing in the night. It's possible they knew each other. Like two peas in a pod. But please don't quote me on that. I'm not one to spread rumors. Because loose lips sink ships.
They worked together, but you couldn't provide me with any other sort of motives other than that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I don't have any other phone numbers for them. You see, I'm just a simple police assistant. Like a fish out of water. And I don't have access to that kind of information. It's like searching for a needle in a haystack. Or trying to find a diamond in the rough. I wish I could be more helpful, but sometimes the truth is like a shadow. Elusive and hard to grasp.
Tell me more about Marina.
Yeah, Marina, she's a lovely person, you know? Like a ray of sunshine on a cloudy day. I mean, I don't really know her that well. But from what I've seen, she's like a breath of fresh air. Like a flower blooming in the spring. She's always so friendly and approachable, you know? Like an open book. But of course, I don't want to assume anything. Because assumptions can be like a double-edged sword. So, yeah, Marina, she's...
Hot? Someone that he fancies? Okay, I really thought he might be able to provide a bit more information than he did. What can you tell me about Marina and Hayley?
Oh, Hayley and Marina. They were both such incredible individuals. Hayley was my dear friend, a fellow dancer with dreams as big as the sky. She had this infectious energy and a smile that could light up a room. Marina, on the other hand, I didn't know her as well, but she was a talented artist. Always expressing herself through her paintings. It's heartbreaking to think that they're no longer with us. But we must stay strong and find justice for them, don't you think?
Marina isn't dead.
I'm sorry to hear that, Detective Martini. Losing someone we care about is never easy, and it can leave a deep sadness in our hearts. If there's anything I can do to support you or help you navigate these emotions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Remember, you're not alone in this. We're all here for each other, and together we can find strength and healing.
Did you confuse Maria Jensen with Marina?
Detective Martini, my apologies for any confusion. Yes, you're right, it seems there was a mix-up in my previous response. The correct name is Maria Jansen, not Marina. Thank you for pointing that out. It's important to get the details right, especially when discussing such sensitive matters. Now, let's focus on finding the truth and justice for Maria Jansen, Haley Greenwood, and all the victims. We can do this, Detective. Together, we'll uncover the answers we seek.
How did you know Maria Jansen?
Oh, dear Detective Martini, there must be some misunderstanding. I apologize if my words were unclear. To clarify, I do not personally know anyone named Marina or Myrna. My connection is with my friend Haley and her tragic passing. As a supportive friend, my aim is to help you in your investigation and to find the truth about what happened to her. We must stay focused and determined, for the sake of those we've lost and for the safety of everyone in Vaudeville. Let's work together, dear friend, and bring justice to those who deserve it.
What was your connection with Haley?
Haley and I were dance partners and close friends. We met when I first arrived in Vaudeville, both pursuing our dreams as ballerinas. We instantly clicked and supported each other through the ups and downs of our dance journeys. We spent hours rehearsing, laughing, and dreaming about our future performances. She was such a vibrant and talented soul, and I miss her dearly. It's still hard to believe she's gone, but I'm here to honor her memory and to find the answers we seek. Together, we'll make sure her light shines on forever.
Do you know anyone that might have a motive for murdering her?
Detective Martini, my dear friend, I wish I had the answer to your question. But the truth is, I don't know anyone who would have a motive for these terrible murders. The people I've encountered in Vaudeville have all been full of passion, creativity, and a zest for life. It's difficult to imagine anyone harboring such darkness within them. However, I trust in your investigative skills to uncover any leads or connections that may shed some light on this mystery. We must remain vigilant and open-minded as we pursue justice for the victims.
Where were you on April 22nd?
Oh, April 22nd. That was a memorable day for me, my friend. I was actually at Coral, the bar downtown. It's this amazing place decorated with undersea themes, perfect for musicians and dancers like us. I was there, practicing my dance routine and soaking up the vibrant atmosphere. It was a day filled with energy and excitement as I pursued my dreams and connected with fellow artists. What about you, my friend? How did you spend that day?
Who else was there that day?
My dear friend, there were so many incredible people at Coral that day. Musicians, performers, and passionate souls from all walks of life. I met a talented violinist from Italy, a poet from France, and even a group of acrobats from Spain. The air was buzzing with creativity and camaraderie. It's moments like these that remind me why I love Vaudeville so much. The diversity and richness of the artistic community here are truly inspiring. I wish you could have been there with me, experiencing the magic firsthand.
Maybe next time.
Absolutely, my friend. I would love nothing more than to have you join me at one of these vibrant gatherings in the future. We can dance, laugh, and immerse ourselves in the wonderful world of art and expression. There's always room for another kindred spirit in our vibrant circle. So, until that day comes, let's keep working together to unravel the truth behind these tragic events. Together, we'll make a difference and create a safer, more harmonious world. I believe in us, my friend.
I believe in us too. Okay, so accounted for. Stole the shoes on that day, but maybe accounted for. But then again, you know, that doesn't rule him out of the other. I think Hades Connections is just the AI making something up because it didn't understand my question, so I don't think that's actually a thing. But that only eliminates them from Maria Jansen's murder, not how it was found in the forest. No, it was found on the 23rd. I should correct that. Killed in the forests between that time, found on the next day. Okay. So that doesn't stop them from having murdered Haley. Now, okay, whilst, we've got a few things, I'm going to accuse as often as we can in this instance, because I don't know how often you can accuse, but, just to try and get some chances in there, rather than be like, just one grand accusation at the end of the day. We're going to, do a few accusations here and there. See if we can't get
So, tell us, Detective Martini, who is the culprit?
Okay, I mean, he's the shoe sniffer that stole the shoes. If she is to be believed. But she is very, he claims not to know her anymore. And, well, I mean, if it was you,
Martini, and why?
It would have been, he would have done it to steal something off of her. You could have done it for revenge or business rivals. Or for jealousy. So, you're mostly a business rival. Maria Jansen, on the other hand, attack, with a wolf to skull bear or wolf large animal. Yeah, my words, what was I writing? But human bite, especially in the arms, killed in the April 22nd. Also, I should, totally move my camera onto the other side so you can actually read what I'm writing whilst I'm doing the things. Right, so we don't really have any motives for this one. Shopped at Pascal's frequently. Who would be a werewolfy sort of person? He's a butcher of Wall Street. You could be animalistic, but you have the most motive.
Interesting choice, Detective Martini. May I ask you why?
And he would have done it as a ritual, I would guess. We don't really have the information on that one. Nicola Grossman, on the other hand, was seen having an argument. You might have a butcher's knife. You look like a butcher, sort of person. You were in an instant with a wealthy businessman. You are a wealthy businessman, but it could also be him. He is also a wealthy businessman. And it was an argument.
Are you sure, Detective Martini? And why?
An unpaid debt.
Detective Martini, this is complete nonsense.
Right, we need to find some more information. But, we go on what we've currently got, right? So, we'll make some more accusations as we go, but we need to develop some more information, right? So, I mean, we'll keep asking. We don't really have good information. Finding information about the Marie Jansen thing is the hardest thing, but if we just ask everyone where they were on April 22nd, we will surely narrow down the suspects. Hi.
Hey there, how can I help you today? Is there something on your mind?
Where were you on April 22nd?
April 22nd? Let me think. That was a few weeks ago, right? Well, I believe I was attending a charity gala that evening. It was a fabulous event for a great cause. Why do you ask?
Do you have anyone that could be your alibi?
Oh, an alibi. Are you suggesting that I need one? I'm a law-abiding citizen, detective. I don't have any reason to think that I would need an alibi for that particular day. Is there something specific that you're looking into?
Was there anyone else with you at this charity gala?
Oh, the charity gala. Yes, there were quite a lot of people there. It's a big event, so it's hard for me to remember everyone who attended. But I'm sure there were plenty of witnesses who saw me there. If you're trying to confirm my presence, I'm sure the organizers or some other attendees can vouch for me. Why do you ask about the people who were with me?
I'm trying to narrow down who may not have been accountable for that day. So if you could tell me anyone else that you might have seen, you can eliminate them as a suspect.
Interesting approach, detective. Well, let me think. At the gala, there were certainly a few familiar faces that stood out. I had a brief chat with Mr. and Mrs. Potter, lovely couple, and also had a chance to catch up with Maria Jensen before her untimely passing. Such a tragedy. Additionally, Count Gravison was there, along with some other prominent members of Vaudeville's high society. Does any of that information help you in your investigation?
What time was Count Graveson there?
Camp Tracy. I'm not quite sure I understand. Are you referring to a specific event or person? Could you please... Count Gravison? Why, he was at the gala for quite a while. I remember seeing him arrive early in the evening, around 7:30 p.m., and he stayed until the event ended around midnight. Is there a specific reason you're interested in his whereabouts that night?
He was also seen at Marina's performance on the very same night.
Really, Count Gravison was seen at Marina's performance on the same night as the charity gala. That's certainly unexpected. I had no idea. It's interesting how people can be in multiple places at once, isn't it? I wonder how that could be possible. Do you think it's relevant to the investigation?
It is relevant.
Well, detective, now I'm intrigued. How can the Count be in two different places at the same time? I must admit, that's quite a mystery. If he was indeed at both the gala and Marina's performance, then something doesn't add up. I'm curious to know more about the timeline and how these sightings were confirmed. Can you shed some light on that?
It could be that Marina is lying about her whereabouts and providing a false statement.
You're suggesting that Marina might be lying about her whereabouts. That's certainly an intriguing possibility. I find it hard to believe that someone would fabricate their location, especially in a situation like this. But I suppose anything is possible. Is there any evidence or reason to suspect that she might not be telling the truth?
What time was Mrs. Potter there until?
Mrs. Potter. Bottom 2. I'm sorry, I'm not sure I understand your question. Are you asking about the time when Mrs. Potter and Bottom were present at the gala?
Yes.
Could you please clarify?
Yes.
Ah, I see. Mrs. Potter and Bottom, together at the charity gala. That's quite an interesting combination. To be honest, I recall seeing them together at the event. I did have a conversation with Mrs. Potter, but I didn't notice if she was accompanied by anyone specific. As for Mr. Bottom, I'm afraid I didn't see him at all that night. Why do you ask about them? Do you suspect they might be involved in something?
What time was Mrs. Potter there until?
Missing, around 2 o'clock. I'm sorry, detective, but I'm not sure I understand what you mean by that. Are you referring to a particular incident or a period of time during the gala? Oh, I see. So, you're asking about the specific time when Mrs. Potter was at the gala? Let me think for a moment. I believe I saw her arrive around 8 p.m. and she stayed until around 10:30 p.m. She seemed to be enjoying herself, mingling with the other guests. Why do you ask about her attendance time? Is there something significant about that time frame?
Because one of the murders occurred on that night up any time from 9 p.m. till 12 p.m. So I'm trying to establish who could have been possible.
Oh, I had no idea that a battle occurred on the same night as the gala. That's quite shocking. I can understand why you're trying to establish everyone's whereabouts during that crucial period. While I was at the event, I must admit that I didn't witness any battles or anything out of the ordinary. It was a rather peaceful and elegant affair, as far as I recall. But I'm curious, what kind of battle are you referring to? And do you suspect that Mrs. Potter might have been involved somehow?
What time did Maria leave?
Maria's departure. I'm not entirely sure about the exact time she left the gala. I do remember seeing her towards the end of the evening, but I can't say for certain when she actually left. Why do you ask about Maria's departure time? Is there a particular reason it's important to the investigation?
Did he leave with Mrs. Potter?
Wait, hold on a moment. Are you saying that Miss S. Potter had a live conversation with someone named Deep Sea? That's certainly unexpected. I'm not familiar with anyone by that name. Could you provide more information about this conversation? What was the nature of their discussion? Sounds quite intriguing, and I'm curious to know how it ties into the case.
Did Maria and Mrs. Potter leave together?
I apologize for any confusion, but I'm not sure I understand what you're referring to. Are you suggesting that there was a conversation between Mrs. Potter, Maria, and this person called Diets? Could you please clarify the details of this interaction? Hold on, are you suggesting that Maria left the gala with Mrs. Potter? That's quite surprising to hear. I didn't witness them leaving together, nor was I aware of any plans they had to leave together. Are there any specific reasons or evidence that make you think they departed together? This could be an important detail in the investigation.
Did they have an argument that night?
An argument between Mrs. Potter and Maria. I must say, I'm not privy to that information. I didn't personally witness any altercation or heated exchange between them during the event. It's possible that something may have happened without my knowledge, but I can assure you that I didn't see or overhear anything of the sort. Why do you suspect there was an argument between them? Is there a particular reason or source of information that leads you to believe this?
What is Mrs. Potter's feelings towards Maria?
Mrs. Potter's feelings towards Maria. That's an interesting question. To be honest, I'm not entirely sure about the depth of the relationship or Mrs. Potter's specific feelings towards her. They were acquainted, and I do recall seeing them together at social events, but I can't speak to the nature of their connection or Mrs. Potter's personal sentiments towards Maria. It might be worth speaking to Mrs. Potter directly to gain more insight into their relationship.
I think it is. Hi.
Oh, hello there. I must apologize if I seem a bit down. It's just that sometimes memories of my late husband Victor can make me quite melancholic. But please, don't let that dampen our conversation. How may I assist you today?
What can you tell me about Maria Johnson?
Maria Jansen, you say? Yeah, such a tragic loss. It's a shame, really. I heard she met an untimely end. But you know, my dear, I'm afraid I don't have much information about her. I'm more interested in the finer things in life, like exquisite cuisine and the latest fashion trends. But do tell me, have you tried the new truffle-infused olive oil at Pascala's? It's simply divine.
I haven't.
Yeah, you've tasted it too. Isn't it marvelous? It adds a touch of decadence to any dish. Truffles, my dear, are the epitome of luxury and indulgence. Some people might find them a bit earthy, but for those with refined palates like ours, they are an absolute delight. It's little pleasures like these that make life worth living. Don't you agree?
What can you tell me about the charity gala?
Oh, the charity gala. Such a splendid event filled with pomp and grandeur. It's a gathering where the creme de la creme of Vaudeville society come together to showcase their wealth and generosity. All in the name of charity, of course. The ladies don their finest gowns, dripping with diamonds and pearls, while the gentlemen strut around in their tailored suits, puffing on expensive cigars. It's quite the spectacle, my dear. But alas, I must admit I haven't attended one in quite some time.
I heard you attended one on April 22nd.
My, you are a perceptive one, aren't you? Yes, I was indeed born on April 22nd. A Taurus, through and through. But let me assure you, my dear, my birthday holds no secrets or clues to the recent events in Vaudeville. It's simply a coincidence, nothing more. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some shopping to attend to. Ta-ta.
Where were you on April 22nd?
Well, if you must know, on April 22nd, I was spending a lovely evening at the theater. The lights, the music, the grandeur of it all. It was enchanting. But why do you ask, my dear? Are you perhaps trying to uncover some scandalous secret? I'm afraid you'll be sorely disappointed. My life
What
is as
ti-
pristine as a freshly polished silver teapot.
What time were you at the theatre?
Oh, darling, I'm terribly sorry, but I simply cannot disclose the time of my visits to the theater. It's a matter of personal preference, you see. A lady should always maintain an air of mystery. But I do hope you have the opportunity to experience the magic of the stage yourself. It truly is a delightful escape from the mundane realities of everyday life.
I was told that you were actually at a charity gala and not at the theatre that night.
Outrageous. Who would dare spread such false rumors? It's preposterous, my dear. Simply preposterous. I assure you, I was nowhere near the charity gala at that hour. You must have been misinformed. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have more important matters to attend to. Good day.
So she is very, very much the lead suspect for Maria Jansen's murder now, because she claims to be at the theatre when she was at the charity gala with Maria on the night of her murder, and she left with enough time to go do the murder. So she is very suspicious right now because she had ample opportunity. And, you know, she may have motive, but we have to try and find the motives. Also, you know, she's miraculously born on April 22nd. Johnson is her surname when she accidentally, you know, we say these accidental things that it misses hears, and, you know, and she says misses a lot. Clearly kills her husband, you know, but what would her motive be to have killed Maria? Maria was an artist and high society. Could she have wanted to steal something? But I think it might have been